Good evening and welcome everybody to the North American Grand Prix Thursday night GT Series. We are here at Hockenheim in Germany this evening for the penultimate round 9 of the Thursday night Assetto Corsa GT2 Championship. Hockenheim Ring, located in Hockenheim, Germany, was reconfigured in 2001 and is a nuded version of the original Hockenheim rim. The current layout features fast, short radius turns and a technical stadium section in the final sector and stands at a mere 2.842 miles in length, in stark contrast versus the old superhighway of 4.256 miles. Last week, if you remember, at Bathurst, David Poole fended off a late charge from Ian Jolicoeur in the Porsche to capture his second win of the season. Damage to the C6R of Poole in his second stint caused him to lose considerable pace on track, allowing Jolicoeur to threaten a couple overtaking maneuvers on the final lap. Poole held off the Canadian for the win, moving himself right back into the driver championship picture. Jolicoeur's second place finish was his best of the season. Al Merriman took home third, his third podium finish of the season in the Mercedes. With only 2 races remaining in Season 2, John Ludden is holding on to a 15-point lead in the driver championship over Jeremy Bryant in second place and 23 points up on third place Al Merriman. Meanwhile, in the team championship, Suspect Speed Racing's Jeremy Bryant and Brad Merys hold a 29-point lead over 2 teams tied for second, Robbers Dog Racing, John Ludden and Bjorn Heyman, and 05 Motorsports, David Poole and Andrew Werner. Both championships are still very much up for grabs, and with the Nordschleife looming around the corner, it's anybody's championship to win. It's going to be a great night of racing. We invite you to join NAGP TV this evening for complete coverage of tonight's race. The racing begins with 25 minutes of open qualifying, followed immediately after by the 250-kilometer or 52-lap race, whichever comes first. We certainly hope that you can join us. So we are finishing up our practice session here for tonight, as most of the drivers are already in the pits and we still have a few that are out on track, taking a couple of last warm-up laps, whatever they can afford to get that last edge before the qualifying begins. Taking a look at Andrew Werner, half of 05 Motorsports Corvette team here, as he comes by the start-finish straight, takes it way wide. Yes, indeed. We are expecting some really good racing here tonight. Great qualifying, to say the least, actually. So we have now switched over to qualifying. One of the first ones out on track, BMW Z4 of Moises Caraballo. There you have Bjorn Heyman, Al Merriman, and Thomas Schubeck, the other half of Gotta Go By Racing Team, driving the Mercedes-Benz SLS. Alfonso Alvarez takes to the track in the Lamborghini Gallardo. John Waffen, Ian Jolicoeur's partner, out on track. Jeremy Bryant, one half of Suspect Speed Racing in the Ferrari 458 Italia, out on track. Martin Wolters, part of the Dominican connection here at the North American Grand Prix, out on track in the Corvette C7R. And Nicolas Cote in the Dodge Viper SRT. He is teamed up with Liquid Lou Masciarelli tonight, who's driving the other Dodge Viper SRT. Carlos De La Torre out in the Aston Martin Vantage. And there we see Lou Masciarelli driving the number 92 SRT Viper. Gregory Myers still in the pits, Mike Graytrick still in the pits, and Jack Ivey yet. Oh, I'm sorry, Mike Graytrick's actually serving a no-qual tonight for an incident incurred at last week's race at Bathurst Mount Panorama. So you do have a few that are sitting out the qualifying session tonight, and it is an unfortunate thing We are taking a look at Brad Merys. Brad Merys, earlier in the week in the forums at the North American Grand Prix site, stated that this happens to be one of his favorite tracks to drive. So as it is one of his favorite tracks to drive, no doubt I am assuming we're going to have to see some really great things coming out of Mr. Merys tonight. And as he is the ultimate teammate, no doubt he and Jeremy Bryant must have traded and shared some really good setup secrets for that Ferrari, because it seems that week in and week out these guys have got those Ferraris hooked up in a really nice way, and they've been a force to contend with here this season. Season 2 has certainly been, in my opinion, the season of Suspect Speed Racing. While John Ludden still holds on to that narrow margin of a victory in the Drivers' Championship, no doubt Suspect Speed has been running away with that team championship in Season 2. So, just a quick note to those that might be watching the live broadcast here tonight, there is no chat that is open tonight. No chat. So if you see others that are looking for information, then please let them know that there is no chat from the broadcaster tonight. We are 100% focused on the race and bringing you all the live action, and as such we will not be chatting in the chat room on Twitch tonight. Andrew Werner now starts a hot lap, takes it way wide in the last corner. We'll jump on board. Already we see early leaders, Brad Merys, Alfonso Rodriguez, both in the 137s. Nearly a half second separating your top two right now provisionally, because it is not over until the Fat Lady has sung her final song here with about 20 minutes left to go. We got some time and things could change. John Ludden now throwing his hat up there with a 138 flat. Jeremy Bryant a 138.1, and Andrew Werner rounding out your top five with a 138.3. But like I said, we still have 20 minutes of qualifying to go, and so there is still plenty of time for some of these drivers to put in a really fast hot lap. Looking at David Poole as he comes into the third sector, the inside technical infield here at Hockenheim. Seems to have the Corvette C6R, the older version of the GT Corvette, hooked up real nice. As he comes around that final corner. Oh, and he moves up to second place with a 137.911. On board with John Ludden. John Ludden now starting his hot lap. John Ludden currently in fourth, just behind Alfonso Rodriguez. Look for John Ludden to put in a really quick lap this time around. No doubt he's shed a couple of laps of fuel already, so the car is perhaps a little lighter and a little more nimble. These drivers have to contend with hot track temperatures and bringing those tires up to optimal operating temperature for maximum grip, helping them in and out of those corners. All important here, especially as they heads into turn number 6 hairpin here for John Ludden. Corner exit speed being all important. Into turn 7 and headed down to turn 8, which is Mercedes. Through the Mercedes complex, now heading into the infield stadium portion of the Hockenheim ring. Oh, and John Ludden gonna pull it off. So, no fast lap from John Ludden. So let's take a look at David Poole here. David Poole seems to be drafting Brad Merys now around the track. David Poole looking for every advantage that he could possibly get as they come through the infield section of the stadium portion of Hockenheim ring. And David Poole through the last corner trying to best Brad Merys' time. Let's see what happens. Is it going to be this time or is it not? No improvement for Mr. Poole. Taking a look at Moises Caraballo. Moises Caraballo currently sitting up in 7th place. His best time so far of a 138.9. And we see that Aaron Parsons has joined us here tonight. I see him on the server, it looks like. Nicholas Cote currently sitting in 13th with a 140.385, his best. We'll stay out here with Walters for a little while. He's running a 139.350. Oh, Alfonso Rodriguez now with a fast lap of a 137.585. Moves David Poole down to 3rd. John Ludden still in 4th. Jeremy Bryan up to 5th. Andrew Warner now jumps up to 6th with a 138.3. On board the C7. We see Jack Ivey now taking off for a qualifying run. 15 minutes left to qualify. 15 minutes. I want to just quickly apologize. If you're looking over at the standings on the left-hand side, you see that there is a 26th entry that jumps from 19 to 26. A small bug in the app that we're running, and we'll have it fixed up for you next week. Oh, Walters loses it, puts it in the wall. He's done. On board with Jack Ivey. He is on an outlap. As Jack Ivey now starts to enter into the stadium part just past turn 11, Mobile 1. Into Sachs, which is a low-speed second gear corner. Small left-right rhythm section here. Through turns 15, 16, suit curve, and out onto the front start-finish line. So now Jack Ivey will go ahead and start his hot lap. I fully expect Jack Ivey to pull off a 139 here. I saw Jack was able to pull off 140s during practice, and I think that he's fully capable of a 139 here tonight. So give him hell, Jack. Give him hell. We'll stay on board with the number 75 Stevenson Chevrolet. And as we look over at timing and scoring, we see that Brad Merys right now is toying with the idea of dipping his best lap time into the 136s. He has just posted up a 137 flat. That is blistering pace around this track. Phenomenal pace. Jack Ivy tries to hug those apexes tight. Holding on for dear life as he comes around the last corner. Take that apex tight. Get on the throttle quick. 141. 141.1 for Jack Ivy. So Gregory Myers subbing in for Ian Jolicoeur, who was called away on duty tonight. Most unfortunately for Ian, but fortunate that he's got someone like Greg Myers, a former driver champion here at the North American Grand Prix. Gregory Myers certainly one who knows he knows the ropes, he knows his way around here. A quick learner and adapter of his driving skill to any track and car, really, and look for Greg Myers to be quite competitive here. Currently sitting in 16th with a 144.822. Looking to see some improvement on that. Once again, I want to remind those that might be watching the live broadcast, there is no live chat. No live chat tonight, guys. So Al Merriman. Al is currently sitting in 8th, a 138.6. A time of 1 minute 38 seconds for the boss man. Al taking it a little bit wide through turn number 1, and I expect that most of the drivers here tonight will be doing just that, and that's taking it wide. One of the things discussed in the forums this past week is that you're going to do so at your own risk, because that light green stuff, not all that grippy. It's actually quite slippery. That AstroTurf never did have any good grip qualities to it, so these drivers will be driving on that surface, on that material, at their own risk. So Al Merriman now out for a hot lap. Let's go inside. We see Al is working that steering wheel really hard, trying to keep that car on track and from sliding. Not exactly sure what's going on with that Mercedes-Benz SLS at the moment. Looks like it's a little tail happy. Oh, that's it. He takes it off. Broadcaster's curse. Sorry about that, Al. Jeremy Bryant hard on the brakes going into the hairpin turn number 6. Andrew Werner out there currently qualified in 6th spot. XXVI Motorsport currently tied for a place on the championship podium, team championship podium, that is. So we've got 2 races left to go. Next week we will be coming to you live from the Nordschleife. It is going to be a Super Pole event followed by a qualifying race to set us up for the following week feature race. 3-hour race, and I think it's like all of like 12 laps or something like that. So we got some interesting talk and banter that's going on, folks, and I wish that I could tell you what it is, but let's just leave it at this. Next season's Assetto Corsa League may see a change for Thursday nights. That's all I can say at this time. Nothing else. So, David Poole currently qualified in 4th. We've got a little over 6 minutes left to go. Jack Ivey betters his time to a 140.9. No improvement out on track, but if Jack could just get a few tenths off, he might be giving Lou Mascarelli or Nicholas Cote a run for their money. Al the Boss Merriman out on track once again, trying to give it his all, his best shot. Big kudos to Al and all the admin staff for putting this entire league together. These guys, they give 110% week after week, season after season. They work very hard to bring our racers the finest quality league out here on the internet. And speaking about our league out on the internet and all that stuff, a little house cleaning, folks. We are a donation-driven league. We do not charge for racing. However, there are some pretty steep administrative costs involved in running the servers month after month. My understanding is that it's several $100s. So if you're here with us week after week, or you race with us and you're watching the rebroadcast of this race, guys, I'd like to urge you, go into your pockets, throw us a couple of bucks every month. Whatever you can afford, whatever you are not using for that month, why don't you throw it our way? We sincerely appreciate the support and the help that we do get from our members and those that do watch the broadcast month after month. I myself, contribute back to the community, giving of my time, doing the broadcasts and stuff like that. So, it's a community. It truly takes a community to make this all work and pull it all together. So, just want to encourage you folks. If you do like what you see, throw us a couple of bucks. Help us out. Keep the league going. So, it is official that Monday night racing is moving away from the GTR2 platform. You heard Brad Merys mention it on the Monday night broadcast. It is official. We will be moving to a Monday night Formula Abarth series, which is open wheels. Very, very cool cars. It's going to be, I believe, something like a semi-spec class. There are not going to be any physics changes. I'm not sure if suspension changes are going to be restricted or not. In my opinion, I feel that they should be. Limit your changes to camber and tire selection, and that is it. Oh, and wing selection for your tracks. And that's it. That's my opinion. That's this broadcaster's opinion. That's how it should be. So now John Ludden moving up into the 3rd spot with a 137.6 right behind Alfonso Rodriguez. Still holding steady at 2nd with a 137.5. And with 3 minutes left in qualifying, folks, we will be right back. we are back with ya. Ah, there he is, Aaron Parsons, driving the yellow Mercedes in for Thomas Schubeck here tonight. So Aaron Parsons has been racing here all season in a substitute role. Currently qualified in 6th. We go on board with Aaron. Aaron through the stadium section, and boy, you can really get a feel for just how narrow this track truly is here when you are in the cockpit view. Oh, drifting through that last corner. That is not going to help his time whatsoever, and Aaron's going to go ahead and pull it off as David Poole goes by to bring it across the start-finish line. Under a minute left of qualifying. So we went ahead and grabbed our very tall cup of ice and a couple of bottles of water, folk, because talking for an hour and a half does tend to dry your throat a little bit. I don't mind at all, though. I love bringing you guys the live action week after week. And truly I do. Like I stated a little bit earlier, this is my contribution back to the community of sim racing that has given me so much in terms of enjoyment, in terms of bunch of good friends that I hang out with here several times a week. So no complaints here. So qualifying session is over now, and it looks like Brad Merys went ahead and took the pole with a 137 flat. Alfonso Rodriguez will start 2nd, John Ludden in 3rd. Oh, John Ludden, David Poole moves it up to 3rd, and John Ludden down to 4th. A last-ditch effort by Mr. Poole. Good on you. So we will be heading over to the race session here in about 5 minutes. The interval between the end of qualifying and the start of the race has been increased from 1.5 minutes to 4 minutes. This gives our drivers to make some last-minute setup changes, get their stuff together, get themselves in focus before the race. It is important that these drivers remain focused while they're driving, because I'll tell you, some all-important team and driver championship points are on the line. So the sim takes us out onto the racetrack, and therein on the upper left hand, if you have a look at the screen, starts the 4-minute countdown. And what happens here, folks, is I don't move. The sim automatically jumps me into the pits when it's time to go, and we just take it from there. So we're hoping for an excellent race here. We've got approximately 19 drivers out on track tonight. And folks, we want to encourage you, if you're watching this broadcast, you know, hey, you grab yourself a wheel and some pedals, come out and race with us. This league is for the pro as it is for the beginner. We make no biased judgments against anybody here. We want everybody to just come out, have a good time. There is racing for all levels of skill here. If you are an old hand at this and you're a pro or an alien or whatever it is you want to consider yourself, we've got just about every skill set on this track, from the professional down to the rookie. So if you like what you see, grab a wheel, grab some pedals, come on out and race with us here on Thursday nights, Assetto Corsa GT2 League. And starting next season, which will start up in a couple months, for the Monday night, we're going to be moving over to Formula Abarth. So if your thing is open wheel, we have, I believe it is, we have room for 11 teams. That is a total of 22 drivers, and that will increase as the seasons go by, and as we start using different tracks that have more pit boxes, etc., etc. So don't be discouraged. Come and join us. Throw your hat into the ring. 2-minute countdown, 2-minute countdown, and so we're gonna be counting down the time to the start of this race. Once again, Brad Merys will start on pole, followed in second by Alfonso Rodriguez. John Ludden, don't think that that's right, so we're going to have to stop right there and see what's going on. Because the times don't seem to match up. Let's see here. Yeah, the times don't seem to match up, so we're gonna leave that alone, and we'll get that to you as quickly as we possibly can. And you'll see it on the left-hand side once we go live with the racing. So again, we've got a little under a minute before the start of this race. And we will go to the live action out on track once those lights go off. Now I'm hoping that the sim on this track will actually put me into the pits a little bit earlier than it did last week. Last week was a little bit tough getting back out on track quickly, but we'll see. And it looks like it's going to take me down to the wire. So once we get thrown into the pits, and there we go, and they are off. Oh, Brad Merys, David Poole taking a look on the inside real quick here. David Poole on the inside. Oh, we got a Corvette that takes it off and wide. As Andrew Werner, teammate to David Poole, taking the wide side. So we're going to see what the rest of the field is doing real quick here. And it looks to be fairly clean for everybody. Moises Caraballo having a bit of an issue keeping his car going straight. That's going to hurt him in terms of position. Martin Walters moving up, and John Wathen right behind Walters. Lou Masciarelli and Nicholas Cote now doing a little battle here. Cote's going to look on the inside. Oh, there seems to have been some contact there between the two. Oh, Jack Ivey and Mike Greatrix in a little bit of a melee back there. Oh, the worst of it going to Jack Ivey. Jack Ivey turning it around. Oh. So now David Poole, Andrew Werner are battling this one out. Aaron Parsons right behind these two guys. On board with Aaron Parsons subbing for Mr. Thomas Schubeck here tonight. Oh, and John Ludden out to a great start. One not to be left too far behind. Oh, Aaron Parsons taking it a little wide. Trying to hunt down Andrew Werner just up ahead. Alfonso Rodriguez now has got Jeremy Bryant in his sights. And Alfonso under some heavy pressure from Bjorn Hemmen. Bjorn's going to take a look on the outside. Doesn't look like he's going to get that pass done this time around. But that Nissan GTR seems to be showing all sorts of pace right now over the BMW M3 of Alfonso Rodriguez. Oh, you see Jeremy Bryant taking it a little bit wide, still holds on to his position. Jeremy Bryant currently up in 6th under all kinds of pressure right now. Alfonso Rodriguez with an outside move around Jeremy Bryant. That was gutsy. So a great battle going on here. Let's take it back a little bit further. So we see Al Merriman right now. Al is currently running in 9th. Who is this? I'm sorry. Martin Walters. Walters up in 11th. Followed by Waffen. Followed by Mascarelli. Della Torre. Nicholas Coate back there. Mike Greatrix. Lumash. And I don't see Jack Ivey. Where's Jack Ivey? There he is. So Jack Ivey and Mike Greatrix haven't gotten caught together on lap 1 has relegated Jack Ivey to way back in the field. And I can't help but think that he might have some damage on that car. Might be hindering his performance just a little bit. So out with your race leader, Brad Merys, right now. Brad Merys having completed 3 laps. Sorry, folks, we're going to have to take the stream text off because I'm noticing that there's some quality and stuttering going on the broadcast application when I have that overlay running. So I will instead bring you the F9 function down at the bottom of your screen so we can capture some of the gaps out on track. I do use a proprietary app that you see on the upper left hand side that shows all of our drivers running, and the colors, they do mean different things. Those that are in red are under immense pressure from somebody behind them. We're going to see who those folks are right now. I see that Aaron Parsons seems to be undergoing some fairly intense pressure from someone. Or at least he was. He's now, so Andrew Werner was right on his tail. Oh, Carlos Della Torre, Nicholas Coate, and who? Oh! Looks like Waffen got caught up in this. Greg Myers. Oh, that's such a shame. Bit of a melee is now going to give Jack Ivy the opportunity to catch up to these guys. Watch out. The beast of a Camaro is coming through. Give him hell, Jack. Come on, man. Push that thing. They are just up ahead of you. Greg Myers into the pits. He's got heavy damage. Greatrix in the pits. Carlos de la Torre stays out. Don't know just how much damage was done to that Aston Martin, but he seems to be doing okay right now. We caught the tail end of that. We don't know what sparked it. I'm guessing that perhaps a little bit of close racing. Somebody misjudged a corner or a pass that was tried to be made, and it just didn't work out as they had hoped. So Lou Mascarelli able to stay out, Liquid Lou, and Nicholas Coate running in 13th right now. John Wathen in 12th. Martin Walters, who was caught up in that melee just a couple turns ago, is running 11th. Moises Carvalho just in front of him. And we see that Al Merriman is about to be putting some strain as we see Jeremy Bryant go yellow. That means that Al Merriman is within about a second and a half. When they go red, that means that there's less than a second gap behind them. So Al Merriman now giving Jeremy Bryant some pressure. Now Merriman going to take a look on the inside. It's going to be a no-go this time around, but they come out of the hairpin nearly side by side. Advantage going to Jeremy Bryant. As they now start the stadium infield section of the track. Alfonso Rodriguez running up in 7th right now, just behind Bjorn Heyman. Bjorn Heyman having a great outing tonight. Bjorn currently running in 6th. Andrew Werner's in 5th. Aaron Parsons up in 4th. John Ludden having a great night in 3rd. Not letting David Poole get too far away. David Poole's running in 2nd, and there is your race leader, Brad Merys. Boy, what can I say? You know, Brad has he's just been on a tear lately, and he's just been on a tear is all I really can say, because while he's not won every race here, he has been in contention for more than half the season. And so absolutely phenomenal season for Brad Merys and for Jeremy Bryant. Jeremy Bryant picking up his first win of the season a few races back as well. We brought you the live post-race interview. You heard his comments and his sentiments about the league. The one that we're missing here tonight, Ronnie Nunez. Ronnie Nunez opting not to pick up a ride for tonight. There were several available. He opted not to pick up a ride. Real quick, for those that are watching live, if you see that I'm not covering your favorite driver, I encourage you, head on over to NorthAmericanGP.com. In the upper tabs, you can select Live AC Racing or Live AC Timing, I believe the label says. And there you can bring up the live timing and scoring for the session that we're in. We're currently in the race session. It's a maximum of 52 laps. We're on lap 7. So still a whole lot of racing left to go for these guys. And as we know, when there's a whole lot of racing, anything can happen. Okay, let's take it further back. David Poole, John Ludden. So that's Gregory Myers, who's been put down a lap, unfortunately. Aaron Parsons, Andrew Werner. Got a nice little battle going on here between Alfonso Rodriguez and Bjorn Heyman. Bjorn is having a really good night so far in his first stint, running up in 6th. So Bjorn earlier this season was showing you know, some bursts of speed here and there. He was typically lagging, and now here in the second half of the season we have seen such vast improvements coming from Bjorn that it's actually quite nice to see somebody up there in the top 10 mixing it up with the fast guys. Alfonso Rodriguez right now chasing down Bjorn Heyman, trying not to let him get too far away. That Nissan GTR just seems to be hooked up around here at Hockenheim. And so Bjorn takes it a little wide, but he stays on the throttle, doesn't give any room to Rodriguez driving that BMW. Jeremy Bryant in 8th. Now Jeremy Bryant was showing great bursts of speed during practice. He's currently running in 8th, within the top 10, so this is certainly still anybody's race. Only 9 laps out of a scheduled 52 or 250 kilometers, whichever comes first. Here we see Al Merriman now. Al Merriman running at 9th. Al Merriman just behind Jeremy Bryant. And it looks, let's take it up a little bit because it looks like we have Alfonso Rodriguez is starting to give Bjorn a little bit of a run for his money. Having taken a look up at his rearview mirror, I started now to pour on the throttle just a little bit more and opened up the gap ever so slightly. Bjorn's still showing yellow, trying to break the draft on Alfonso Rodriguez. He takes it to the inside of the start finish. Trying to play a little head strategy here. Topping out at about 253 kilometers per hour. Into the hairpin he goes. Something going on with Jack Ivy. Was just under some pressure from Carlos de la Torre, but Jack gets himself freed from that. John Ludden running up in 3rd, followed by Aaron Parsons, Andrew Werner, Gregory Myers down a lap. looks like Alfonso Alvarez on lap 2 and pulled it off. So Alfonso Alvarez driving the Lamborghini Gallardo. I saw him struggling during the practice session to try and keep that tail from fishtailing all over the place. And I guess he brought it into the pits and gave the car over to his crew and, you know, hey, you guys figure it out. This thing is not working for me tonight. So now we see that Alfonso Rodriguez once again is starting to put some pretty heavy pressure on the likes of Bjorn Heyman. And you know what? Bjorn Heyman having to try and drive a fast line as well as defend his position is allowing Jeremy Bryant and Al Merriman to kind of catch up to these guys. Yes, indeed, we're going to take a look back there in just a second, but I want to see how this battle shapes up, because it is the closest battle on track at the moment. So Greg Myers getting caught up in the middle of being lapped, as well as having some of the front runners hounding him, perhaps trying to get by. I don't think that Bjorn is pushing the issue too much. Let's jump on board with Bjorn and see what he's going to do. So Greg Myers is going to take the slow inside line, and perhaps kind of telling Bjorn, go ahead, take it, go. Greg Myers going to drift out into the race line for a moment there. He gets the blue flag. And he says, I don't want to mess with you guys. Go right ahead. So he gives Alfonso Rodriguez the green light to go ahead and make the pass on the inside. So now Alfonso Rodriguez can concentrate on driving a faster line, trying to catch Bjorn Heyman, driving the Nissan GTR. And so into the stadium section they go. This is the most technical part of the track, folks. Bjorn Heyman now coming into Sud Curve, which is the last turn right before the start-finish straight. That Nissan seems to be having all kinds of power right about now, stretching out those long legs and leaving the Mercedes in the dust a little bit. Moving it up a little bit right now, we see that Aaron Parsons now. Whoa, Aaron nearly losing it. We jump on board and see that Aaron Parsons is having to work that steering wheel real heavily just to avoid losing the tail end of that car. Battle going on here. Andrew Werner right behind Aaron Parsons. He too is starting to put a little bit of pressure on Aaron Parsons. Aaron Parsons just went yellow. And here we go again with Alfonso Rodriguez and Bjorn Heyman. So some fairly nice battles starting to appear here after they complete lap 13. We go on board now with Andrew Werner. Andrew Werner is running in 5th. Right up ahead in front of him, Aaron Parsons, and up ahead in front of them, I want to to say is, yep, it is John Ludden of Desert Dogs Racing fame. And so we see that Ludden and Parsons go red as now Jack Ivy pulls over to the right in the beastly Camaro to let these guys through as they work their way into the stadium section here. This is the most technical part of the track. And so the drivers have to perhaps be their most alert through these corners. The apex and the exit corner speeds are all important here and conducive to putting together a fast lap. Parsons now driving the yellow Mercedes, putting all sorts of pressure on John Ludden. Drivers now coming up on Lou Mascarelli on lap 15. Well, they're working lap 15 right now. Ludden gonna go on the inside of Lou. Lou's gonna let them by. He's not gonna contest this in the least bit. He's gonna let Andrew Werner by as well. It takes it a little wide coming out of the hairpin, but that's okay. He's letting everybody race, and that's what's going on here. These guys are racing pretty hard. So we're looking at Aaron Parsons right now. Aaron Parsons is right there on the bumper of John Ludden. You can smell the fumes. Parsons is having to really work to try and put positions on people. So the battle rages on. Aaron Parsons, John Ludden, and Andrew Werner. Let's see how running a knife. So we take a look Mike Greatrix. One half of Skidmark Racing, the other half went AWOL. So anybody that wants to jump on board for the Nordschleife next week, there is an open Competizione P45 if you feel like jumping in. I'm not sure that Marty Uren is going to actually make it, and we see that Nicholas Cote now takes a DNF after 15 laps. Nicholas Cote out of the race in the Dodge Viper SRT. So no doubt that these drivers, these cars are contending with wearing tires as they make their way through the stadium section. Some cars are pushing and some are just a little too loose. la Torre. Your race leader, Brad Merys. But wait a minute, we've got the... Yes, we do. We still have this battle raging on between Ludden, Parsons, and Werner.
Parsons under pressure from Werner. Alfonso Rodriguez gets by Bjorn Heyman. Boy, I'm sorry that we missed that. I would have loved to have seen that. But there you have it. Alfonso Rodriguez now currently running in 7th after getting ahead of this man, Bjorn Heyman, who is now being chased by Mr. Jay Bryant. And so these guys are now jockeying for position, and they've got a little gaggle of cars just behind them. Oh, sorry, it is lap traffic. Back markers. Jack doesn't like when I Jack don't like when I say back markers. So Al Merriman now trying to throw his hat into the foray of positions. He's currently running in 9th. Al Merriman trying to squeeze every single ounce of performance out of that Mercedes. Trying his best to catch Jeremy Bryant. Bryant in 8th, trying to find a way around Bjorn Heyman, but Bjorn able to make that car twice as wide on a twice as narrow street. So Jeremy Bryant continues his quest to try and pass Bjorn Heyman. Unsuccessful so far. As I stated, Alfonso Rodriguez got around those two now. Moises Caraballo. Caraballo currently running in 11th. Parsons gets around Ludden. David Poole out there in 2nd place. race leader, Brad Merys. Brad Merys out there all by his lonesome. Myers running last in 16th, last points paying position. Ivy and Lou Masciarelli in a nice little battle going on there for 12th spot. And Mike Greatrix right now. Greatrix is running in 14th. Looks like Jack Ivy and Lou Masciarelli are gonna start to mix it up here. We're gonna go on board that Chevy. He's gonna have a look on the inside. Question is, will he get it done without wrecking them both? Masciarelli takes it wide and has the advantage coming out of that corner, so he keeps on the throttle as best as he can. But Jack's not finished with him yet. Jack Ivy's going to have a look, and we'll have the advantage coming into turn 6 hairpin. Whoa, whoa, oh! Careful when you turn in, and going out, the advantage is going to go to the Dodge Viper. Accelerating down this short chute straightaway, Lou Masciarelli has the advantage. And so Jack Ivy, like I said, he's not done with him yet. He ain't done with him yet. So your running order, Brad Merys, David Poole in second, Aaron Parsons third, John Ludden currently running in fourth, Andrew Werner in fifth, Alfonso Rodriguez sixth, Jeremy Bryant in seventh, Bjorn Heyman eighth, Al Merriman currently running in ninth, Walters is in 10th, Caraballo's in 11th, Lou Masciarelli coming under that immense pressure right now in 12th, Jack Ivy in 13th, and Mike Greatrix currently running 14th. Carlos De La Torre in 15th, and the last points paying position, Gregory Myers, is in 16th. And here we go, Jack Ivy going to take a look on the inside. Now Lou Masciarelli has always shown the advantage staying on the outside. So now they're going to go through Parabolica, and they're going to come to turn 6 in opposite order of the last lap. And we're going to have to see who the advantage goes to, because number 75 looking a bit racy there. If he can get on the brakes in the threshold just in time, it would be Jack's position to lose, but he can maintain his position so long as those brakes do not overheat, and then you cannot use them. battle right now for looks like 7th spot. Heavy on the downshift for Al Merriman, trying to keep pace with Bjorn Heyman and Jeremy Sanchez. Three-way battle for that coveted 7th spot. You see a couple of cars that took it offline there. Nobody's switching positions yet. With a total of 52 laps, I'm going to venture and say these guys are going to start coming in around lap 28. Now, I know some of these cars can come in as early as lap 27, fill up their fuel tanks, and keep on moving. But some of them do have to make a mandatory stop. Nearly lighten up those tires as he comes out of that corner. It's going to give Jeremy Bryan an opportunity to look on the outside. Oh, but Bjorn shuts the door and says, you ain't going to get past me that easy, Jeremy. And Jeremy's saying, well, give me that opportunity. I'll slip by you. And there goes Al Merriman. Al Merriman has caught up to this fight. Jump on board with Al Merriman now as they're going through the technical Innsfield Stadium portion here at the Hockenheim Ring. So Bjorn Heyman getting the brunt of the abuse here, in terms of the pressure that he's receiving from these two drivers. So we're staying on board with this battle, folks, because this is the closest battle. These guys are in the heat of the moment, and they've yet to pit. So these three now starting to gap themselves. Well, at least Bjorn Heyman able to pull out a bit of a gap over Jeremy Bryan. Jeremy Bryan is into the pits on lap 26. And he's off. So Al and Bjorn stay out. They do not come in. And as I stated before, man, Bjorn is having a phenomenal run here. Oh, the Mercedes slides sideways just a little bit. So John Ludden now, after his pit cycle, and Andrew Werner, they're going to come out in the positions it looks like they had already. Aaron Parsons leaves the pits. So these guys are good to go till the end of the race now. So we got Al Merriman in the pits. Bjorn Heyman is in the pits, and Alfonso Rodriguez now leaving the pits in 6th. Alfonso Rodriguez out in 6th right now, and we're going to take it up a little bit further. There goes Aaron Parsons. This is Andrew Werner. John Ludden in 3rd, and David Poole still holding on to 2nd, and Brad Merys in 1st. Now, I've seen Brad Merys' strategies work in his favor before, where he has stayed out with a longer first stint. Not sure if that's what he's going to do here tonight. He is looking to complete lap number 28. He just came through the start-finish line, completing lap 27. So we'll stay here with Brad to see what Brad decides to do. Is Brad going to bring it in, or is he going to stay out? Now my guess is that Brad might stay out. Yes, he will. Simply because he's probably going to take it deep into the first stint. And David Poole, not wanting to give up any ground to Brad Merys, is going to follow suit and stay out as well. Number 1 and 2 have stayed out. John Ludden has actually pitted already. So my guess here, well, I certainly wish that I could see the wish I could see the gap splits right now. Let's see if we bring that up for you. So John Ludden is but 16 seconds back from David Poole. I'm sorry, 16 seconds back from the race leader. So these guys gotta come in and pit. And virtually that will give John Ludden the lead. Whether it stays that way is another thing. About to put Mike Greatrix down another. He's about to put Mike Greatrix down a lap. Greatrix gonna stay to the middle of the course. David Poole stays wide just to stay safe. Makes the pass. And Bjorn Heyman in 7th, followed by Al Merriman. Somewhere back there. There he is. So looking at Al Merriman, who is now has come under pressure from Jeremy Bryant. These guys have pitted already. Mascarelli out there running in 13th. Martin Walters, as he comes by, and takes it a little bit wide. So Martin Walters running in 10th. Jack Ivey 11th. There's your race leader. There is your 2nd place. And there is your 3rd place. So, wow. Can't wait to see. Unless I'm mistaken, and Poole and Merys pulled off an early pit stop that I did not pick up. It will be interesting to see how this pans out. So, I don't know. Let's see if we can go on board the Ferrari and determine if he's got fuel or not. It's going to be real hard to do from this end. Another lap. We have a scheduled 52 laps here. They had to have come in. They might have missed it because 32 laps is a long way to go on one tank of fuel. You see your race leader, Brad Merys, having to work that wheel back and forth as he comes out of corners from to avoid the front end hooking and then the rear end get loose. So Brad is going to stay David Poole is out, and he might have pitted. There's Jack Ivey, Mike Greatrix, Carlos De La Torre, John Ludden, and Andrew Werner, Aaron Parsons, Greg Myers, Alfonso Rodriguez, Bjorn Heyman, Al Merriman, Jeremy Bryant, Lou Mascarelli. I believe that's everybody, so that's your running order. Starting to close the gap to Bjorn Heyman here. We see that Al has closed that gap significantly. Trying to catch the likes of Mr. Bjorn Heyman. A little further back, Jeremy Bryant, Lou Mascarelli, Martin Walters, Jack Ivey, Mike Greatrix, BMW is looking hooked up. So Brad Merys pulling a little bit of a gap over David Poole. So your running order, let's go see if we can catch up to Brad Merys in first, David Poole second. Got to find John Ludden out there. John Ludden is in third. Parsons in fourth. Alfonso Rodriguez is running in fifth. everybody is pretty much spaced out right now after the pit stop. So apparently I was mistaken, and Brad Merys, who we are following here, has indeed pitted. There's just no way that any car is going 35 laps around the Hockenheim ring without needing fuel. Unless by some strange miracle these guys have found a way to absolutely conserve as much fuel as possible in those cars, which is darn near impossible. Al Merriman, your race leader out there, kind of like just putting on a driving show here tonight. And kudos to Al. Kudos to Brad for the performance that he has been putting on this year. And you know what? Kudos to Al as well, because Al has been showing some really great bursts of speed week after week. With your leader, Brad Merys, just putting on a driving clinic here tonight. Followed by David Poole. Trying to make the best of his situation, currently running in third. Aaron Parsons and Andrew Werner still having their battle out there. No doubt that's got to be taking its toll on those two. And